So in order to catch his attention, I put my car on neutral and I started revving my engine. So they say if you can drive in New York City, you can pretty much drive everywhere else in the world. And it's because of the way people behave behind the wheels in New York City. I mean, nobody follows the rules, everybody's angry, they're in a rush. So it makes it harder for everybody. And I never really took it seriously before I moved in New Jersey in late 2017. And when I got involved in the rideshare business, that's when I realized how bad it was. I mean, it took me a long time and a lot of practice in order to be more comfortable driving in the city. But it never really prevented some of the most outrageous situations to happen between myself and other drivers. For example, in early 2018, I picked up a passenger in Brooklyn. He was a student. And I started driving with him on an avenue. And then I hit some traffic. And when there's a little bit of traffic but some space for you to switch lane, you would just use whatever lane is available to make it quicker to the next light. But about 2 minutes into that, I noticed a car that came and cut me off real close and real fast. And it was really scary. I thought I was going to crash because of the way this guy cut me off. But I didn't really pay that much attention to that because, hey, this is New York City and most drivers are kind of crazy anyways. So I kept driving, but then after 2 or 3 lights, the same car came and cut me off again. And I noticed it because it was a pretty nice car. It was a BMW X6. So I turned to my passenger and I said, "Did you see that?" And immediately he responded to me by saying, "Well, I think it's the same guy that you cut off before." I said, "I didn't cut him off. I don't even remember seeing that guy before he cut me off the first time." He said, "No, you did. You just didn't pay attention to that." I said, "Well, whatever." So a minute later, I'm at the red light and I'm already trying to forget about it because I'm not trying to argue with anybody while I have a passenger in the car and I can't really win in that situation. So the guy in the BMW pulls up to the left, and as I looked over, the driver is yelling from inside his car and he's flipping me off. I can't really hear what he's talking about, but I could guess that he was just spewing some profanity at me. And I rolled my window down, and he also rolled his window down, and he kept yelling at me, insulting me, asking me what I was thinking when I cut him off. So I looked over and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with this guy. He's too old for this. And my passenger was kind of silent. He didn't really interact with him. So I rolled my window back up. And at this point, I had two options. I could just keep driving, or maybe I could teach this guy a lesson. Because I had noticed something that he probably didn't, and I would try to take a chance and see if I could make him pay for his stupidity. So in order to catch his attention, I put my car on neutral and I started revving my engine, which means I'm ready to drag race you when somebody does that next to you. And it was kind of ridiculous because I was driving a 4-year-old Toyota Camry and he was driving a brand new BMW X6. And it was the X6M actually. So it's not your regular SUV that your dad drives to a picnic with the family with. This is one of the top of the line SUV performance vehicle made by BMW. On Google it says BMW X6M. It has a 4.4-liter twin turbo V8 engine with 600 horsepower, and it goes 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. So this SUV goes as fast as most sports cars that people drive right now. And I don't even think that was supposed to be legal. Who buys a car like this? But anyways, I don't think it's normal for just regular people to be able to work in a dealership and buy a car that has like 600 horsepower and they just sell it to him. If you have $100,000, they just sell it to you and good luck. This is not safe. It shouldn't even be legal. So my passenger is freaking out at this point because it's like, what you think you're doing? You're seriously not gonna race this guy. I'm like, what you think? He said, no, I don't think it's a good idea. You can't win and you're gonna put both of us in danger. I said, well, I don't think you know exactly what's about to happen here. And I asked him to look on the right. Actually, there was a 7-Eleven on the right side of the road, and there was a Ford Taurus parked right in front of it. I didn't know if there was somebody in there because the windows were tinted, but I was hoping that there was an undercover cop inside of it because it looked like one. It had tinted windows, ugly wheels, and antennas on the trunk. And I was expecting the guy in the BMW not to notice this. So my passenger and I are now kind of laughing at what's about to take place. So of course the light turned green and the guy in the BMW just took off like a rocket. I mean, it's just at this point it's just spinning wheels and the engine is revving high. I can smell the unburned gas in the air. It just blasted through the intersection at an insane speed. And I'm just sitting there. I didn't even move. I didn't touch my gas pedal because I knew that to get a ticket, you don't need to actually go faster than the speed limit. But as long as you accelerate too quickly, you can get a ticket for reckless driving. So I didn't want to be a part of this thing. So I just stayed there as this guy was putting full power in order to beat me in that quote unquote drag race that I was orchestrating. So a few seconds later, of course, the black car took off right behind him, and I think he got pulled over less than 3 blocks after that. And my passenger was just laughing his lungs out. We couldn't even talk at this point because we were just laughing. And my passenger even wanted us to drive closer to the BMW so that we could make more fun of him in his face. But unfortunately, there were cars in the way and we couldn't really get close to him without violating any traffic rules. So we just kept on driving and I took my passenger to his destination. And that goes to tell you, you can't always win because you have more power and control of your car. You need to know what's around you, and there's no glory into demonstrating in how fast your vehicle can go or how skilled of a driver you can be. And it doesn't always end well when grown people decide to drag race on the public street or drive recklessly just because they want to demonstrate how fast or powerful their cars are. And one example of that happened in December 2019 when an off-duty police officer died on the FDR Drive on a Saturday. I think he was only 25 years old. He had a Lexus IS and he decided that it was a good idea to drive at an insane speed on a public road with two of his friends. And I think he was going over 100 miles an hour, I'm not sure. But once he crashed, I think he hit a vehicle or maybe he lost control of his car. So actually when the fire department came, his car wasn't even on the road anymore. His car was just wedged against one of the pillars of the bridge. The roof was missing, 2 doors were missing, and the passenger seat was missing. I think the driver died on the spot, and the passenger who was in the back seat didn't even have a seatbelt. It was a female passenger, so she was ejected out of the car and landed on the other side of the highway. I think she severed her leg, and the passenger on the right side, I don't know what happened to him, but I think he got ejected along with the seat. The car was not even recognizable after the accident. So that goes to tell you that playing stupid games with almost always gets you stupid prizes. Can prevent some of the most outrageous stuff. Special license to drive a vehicle over. But anyway,